So when you're ready to do an interim assessment block, you will go to CAASPP.org. Down here in our green menu area, you will pick Smarter Balanced Interim Assessments. You have three main choices here. You will have the viewing system. You can preview the test. You can administer the test here. And you can also look at the scores of students who have already completed an interim assessment block. So let's start off with the viewing system. Once you get here, you need to sign in with your email address and then your password. If you are unsure of your password, you can click on Forgot Your Password to reset it. If that does not work, you can contact Leah Curcio in the Ed Services. She is in charge of CAASPP this year. I'm just going to select a grade to look at, third. Here are all the third grade interim assessment blocks for ELA and for math. I'll do fractions. I'm going to select a form. There's really only one thing from which to choose. This is what the new sound check window looks like. Then they click yes. I was able to hear it and see it. And then you can preview the test. Now I cannot just go to the next item. I have to actually give an answer. It doesn't have to be correct, but I do have to give an answer before I can go on to the next question. A good time to, if you want to preview this with your whole class, is to show it to them so they can get used to using the different kinds of questions types, get used to what tools are available for them during this test, the notepad and tutorial and such. Also a good chance to use learn about the save and the pause button. It's also a good chance for students to look at the use of how they input their equations up here. So good practice with that. I'm going to go ahead and quit this test and go into how to administer it. If your students, I have to log in again. If your students are on in the computer lab or on a desktop in your classroom, you will need to. They will go to the California Secure Browser. If they are on Chromebooks, I already have a session going, so I'm going to say start a different session. If they're on Chromebooks, they need to log out of their Chromebook, and then they hover in the bottom left corner of their Chromebook where the apps are, and the only app that will pop up is the Air Secure browser, and they click on that, and they will put in their information. And let's see, we're doing the IABs, and from there I'm going to pick math. Let's go with 6th, 7th, 5th grade this year. Pick the one that I want to do. Geometry. I get a security reminder. These are not for public viewing. After your students have put their ID information in, and you will get your SSID cards from the office, you can then click on, you give them share this session ID number, and then once they put that information in, they need to be approved by you. And this is how you know someone's waiting for approval. Right now, of course, 0. When somebody is waiting for approval, this will be lit up, and I can approve students one at a time or in one lump sum. When the test is done, I will click stop, and my test will be complete. Now later on, when I want to check for scores, I can click on the reporting system, and sometimes it takes a bit of time before it shows up. Again, we have to log in, and I was already logged in from an earlier session, so it just popped right up for me. But just know that your Smarter Balance sometimes it doesn't necessarily match up to your CAASPP. It might be a little different. I want to see what do we have at San Onofre School. And I have interim assessment data for math in 6th grade. I don't want to click on that right now because we actually have some data in there with students, and I don't want to make that public. But once I click on that, the data will pop up on here. And that's pretty much how you manage all the different parts of an interim assessment block.